Hey y'all, I'm here with another live commentary video. I Before I hop into a game, I wanted to ask for any suggestions for any text that you want to see me play with. I know I've been playing with my standard list that I played in Rip It Berlin, but uh, and there's a lot of room for experimentation in Gigavise, so if there's anything that anyone particularly wants to see in a future live commentary, let me know and I'll try to work that in. But with that being said, let's hop in. We've got a 414 rated player, Luca9110. Bias profile picture, good amount of experience. It'll be interesting. The hand's pretty good. Lacking a sweeper. If they're back row light, then we do just go off. We can hold this Upstart Goblin until after we've gone for Powerful Dragon here, which is definitely happening. And then we can make a decision based on what we get off that. This is a pretty standard open, doesn't have to get much thought. The real decision point comes after we resolve this power tool. Like, if we are getting the Mark of the Rose, we would probably just ooh. If we got the Mark of the Rose, we would probably just swing with the Gigaplant and see what happened. Now we have the decision of, we have a free discard for the Wing Blast Me. So it is fine here to just summon a Titanial from hand. The alternative play, which would lose the Supervise, but protect the Wing Blast a bit better, would be if we went for Stardust here, and on Stardust, Power Tool, Giga, which I don't think is particularly worth it without info of what they could have. Like, the punish is exactly Storm versus Brain, so it's kind of 1-to-1. So even though we take a functional neg1 here, I think this is just higher upside. They have Raikou. How much is the Vise worth? Not that much. It should have been swing with the Giga, given that if it was a Raikou, I would want to be able to attack with the Giga again. But as it worth, we're not going to swing with the Titanial, but the 24 is pretty fine here. Back for Gores. We're not swinging. Trag. Okay, so we'll just kill the Trag. That's fine. That could mean, like, Sork. Sork is a threat here. But I'm not too worried about Sork. They do have Storm, which is pretty frustrating. So the play they were going for is pretty bad into that, which is unlucky, but I mean, if that's what they're doing, though, I'm not particularly worried. And that's crazy. We can Vise the Giga. We're just going for second Giga, Gemini summon it, get a Stardust on board. Getting a little bit of lag here. That's fine. I mean, this is kind of just a one position. It'd be hard to lose. And they're out of there. That was quick. So we'll play another. I think swing with the power tool is wrong. You want to swing with the Giga there in case it's Raikou and they choose to pop. Because Giga Plant's always the tribute. I don't hate playing it to Storm there. But since that's quick, let's get a second game in. We win RPS. This person's slightly higher rated than our previous opponent, which is nice. And this hand is much more interesting, which I'm a fan of. So the obvious play would be Sark Lone, which I probably will do. Sark Lone, it could be set RB, which I don't hate. Because I don't want to commit this Mirror or this Judgment too early. So we are just gonna set ourselves up in a better position. The RB covers most threats. It's fine into Raikou. It's a back row clear if we need it to be. Trooper's probably the worst thing that we could be dealing with here, because it's pressure and engine, and we don't want to RB it. But this is still large. And here we have a pretty aggressive play that I like. Depends on if it's shoot. Let's see. No shoot. Awesome. We can just pitch the Titania, we can clear this back row, and then we can just drop a Giga Plant on the board. That's interesting. So this might be like a quick draw deck, like quick draw Dandy or Amaryllis potentially, with a main side draw. Main side draw I don't get, but apart from that, this just seems like it's a good position. And Gores is gone, so we don't have to worry about not committing Mirror Force until playing into Gores. We can just T-set. I'd consider Heavy fairly unlikely if they set Koth. So it'd have to be in their two draws that they get. And even then we would just pay. Not the best in the world, but take it. Unfortunate, but if they just swing, we do have to mirror in case it's Caius, unfortunately. And then we're just in a really bad spot. Ooh, okay. Sure. They're gonna get a draw and 3 mills, which I'm not extremely happy about, obviously. Although they whiff from the mill, so that's fine. It's obviously a pretty losing position. I'm not gonna say it isn't, but I don't think I would have played it differently, really. Okay. That was pretty nice for them. We get a Lone Fire next turn, so we can get Giga. DDR is pretty nice, honestly, because it means that we'll have a strong follow-up play into bottomless prison here. Okay, neither of those. There's an argument to set this DDR. Just as a bluff. Because the opponent has enough resources, they might end up playing around a bluff. So. Although we thought too long, so they might read bluff off that. There's no good reason with heavy gold. That's annoying. But they had so many outs there. What are we waiting in our face for? Yeah, and we just lose. I would have played it differently. I think Storm Brain, we had no equip, so. What a weird game one. I liked our chances there. No matter. That's what game 2 and game 3 are for. Oh. Funny that we got a second game against Quick Draw after the last episode. Here I feel like the Sark is pretty obvious. We're just in another position where say Wing Blast is correct. We have a pretty strong conversion now for it though, which is nice. That's probably Ryko Dandy. Ryko Dandy Hamster less likely. So we can just chill. And Wing Blast is good into most things. Mark plus Tuner normal summon is strong as well if they end up going for like a Caius play, because then that gives us Partial Dragon. Interesting, so that's Dandy. That might be a flip monster. Odd. So we could go Lone Fire normal. Get to Tangle, but I don't like that. I think I like either setting Sangan or using the Wing Blast and then swinging with the Sangan into this. Like Wing Blast the back row and then swing the Sangan into the new set. That's pretty committal. This is fine. We don't need to do anything here. It's mildly annoying if they Caius a Sangan here, but tells the Ryko and we're going to target the Sangan. Sure, I'm okay with that. So we can get the one Crow here, which I like. A greedy swing. Imagine if I discard trap Gores, which, I mean, we don't play Gores, but... Interesting draw. This can just be Nettle's swing on her Raikou pretty freely. I don't hate that at all. Get a bit of chip in, clear the body. Prevent the hand size just. We do also have to set the RB, I think. Or it could be set Storm. It's unlikely to get a bunch of value, but I'd rather set RB. Okay, if it's Sork here. Just curious with it, honestly. That opens up some lines. Because what I'm thinking is we can go ending on, yeah, we can go discard trap on both monsters. Storm the back row. Foolish Dandy. Normal Loan. Tribute token for loan. Tribute token for likely Titanial. Or it could be Giga. Interesting that that's the... So that stack is pretty bad for them then. It could just be let this resolve and then keep the RB. I don't hate that at all. Because now they're locked onto their own trap stun. It'd have to be like book randomly. Mess this play up, so it's just worth it. Although with that additional context, I do like going for Titanial here. Because I'll have Solemn Judgment to stop any let's do this. I want to keep the Lone Fires on board. Just mill. That does put them to 6. Second stun gone. Interesting. If this is Dandy, we get to clear 1 token. That's fine. We're not bad into Kai, sorry. We'll just chill here. Not overly threatened by anything with this back repair. Unless it's Pro Storm. In which case they did just get me. Oh, well done. This is a complicated game. What are the targets? All but Raikou and Dandy. This could be pulling Crow. Or if it's all the haunted set, then Crow's bad. Into Debris. I have Solemn against Debris. Anyway. What draws are really good for him? Vortex. Storm. I think I have to Crow here. So I don't get behind on the resource game. We'll target the there's Titania of Vanity Fiend. Target the Titania. All the Haunted. Target the Titania. Okay. So the Pot of Avarice is still not going through. I think I do RB this. Pitching Storm. Okay. That feels a bit unlucky. But I need to hold Solemn for either Vortex or Debris. And if it's both, that's just unfortunate. Misty Stormcook. Lone Fire. Lose on the spot to Vortex. Otherwise, this represents clearing both Lone Fire. Yeah, I have to, I think I have to Solemn the lone normal. So Vortex is just killer here. Vortex and TT kind of also. That's a bit unlucky. Maybe I was fine. I just didn't like my position. Because it's just Titanial Nettles swinging. And Solemn forced. By the Vortex. Just set RO pass. No. No, it's hold RO for one turn. So DDR is a live top. Your Reiko's gone. I think I like to set suppression here. Sure. Extra for third Reiko. Take 11. I mean, this isn't great, obviously, but that's not a bad draw. Lose to any normal isn't amazing, but we can just go... It could just be Mark Hamster. Swing into the right go. They get Hamster back. Hit an Armory for DDR in main 2. And just have Giga tight. We just need him to fade one draw. I feel like that's highest win line. Loses to a lot, obviously, but at this point I'm not really sure I have the option to not. The alternative will be Tribute, summon Gigaplant here. Lose Giga, don't have my normal summon next turn. That also just loses to so much. With less upside and more outs for them if they top deck. I think it has to be this. Okay. Those three were all draws that didn't kill me, which is annoying. So it could be just summon another Giga now. Loses to... I mean, a fucking lot. What a rough position. I think I just have to commit to a play. DDR for loan, summon second Giga from deck pass, loses to Caius, which kills me anyway. It doesn't lose to normal summon. It doesn't die to Vanity's Fiend, but functionally loses to Vanity's Fiend. It loses to Titanial, which already kills me. It loses to Loan, which already kills me. Loses to Debris, which already kills me. Doesn't take more chip, doesn't lose to a random normal summon under 2400. Because any 17 kills me. I don't know which 17s they might have. They might have like a Kaikuin deck or whatever. That's unlikely. Could be on the hero engine, but that's unlikely. Very awkward position. Loses to Vortex. Second Vortex cooks me there. But it always cooks me, because I'm not going to Stardust. We'll go for it. This now loses to Caius with two other monsters in hand. And loses to Brain. I was always dead. Well, that's the first loss, unfortunate. I don't know if I could have played the game 1 better. Game 2 is weird. Really complicated exchanges on that turn with the Crow and the double Avarice. I guess I can play around Call of the Haunted second Avarice better. But that feels ridiculous even to say. Yeah, I mean their hand is so strong here. And I was right that it wasn't heavy in hand. Yeah, Topic Storm. I mean, that's just the reality of the game sometimes. That's gonna be how it is. It's just unwinnable. Yeah, they put a Crow as well, but we never had Supervised, so they never had an opportunity to use it. I wonder if this was winnable, regardless, though. If I managed to play a little better, or maybe I just have to anticipate significantly more interaction than I was ready for. It's done. I don't hate going for this. Only clearing one token maybe is the mistake. Like if I just get a Lone Fire, if I summon the second Lone Fire and attack, I need to respect a little less in the very end game, because then that token dies. And then the second Avarice draws into the Vortex, which is, I'll admit, a little frustrating, but that's just how it is. If I don't Solemn the Lone Fire there, it's Lone Fire, crash into Lone Fire, Titanial kill second Lone Fire. Vortex trades for Solemn. So it's Nettles Titanial versus Pro Brain. And I have Mark Giga Oppression there. Position is a little bit better if I assume Vortex in hand plus the normal summon. Because you would summon first in case it's TT, and you would summon first in case it's Solemn. There's no reason to do it another way, so I can't guess and know Vortex. And that Storm doesn't matter. Not really. Yeah, just keep it face down. I'm just losing in the long. So this was probably the incorrect play, and it just happens that they top the Kaias, which lets them kill here regardless of if I made this play or not, but I should probably just hold for one turn, because it plays better into Vortex and no summon, and it plays better into Brain, and it gives me the opportunity to draw Vise and convert the DDR more strongly. So yeah. Well, can't win them all. That's, I mean, that's just the reality of the game. Yeah, if anyone has any decks, any techs they want to see, let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to get to trying some of them out and showing you my take on how to use them most effectively. Peace.